So good evening everyone. So today we are going to be discussing JavaScript syntax. Now today I'm not going to be writing our JavaScript code inside the HTML file. So I'm going to create a separate file in which I'm going to write our JavaScript code. So now as you've seen, I've created this JavaScript file and this is sodiq.js. So you can save your own with any name, but you must make sure that it must end in .js. So you must use .js as the file extension, otherwise it won't recognize the file as a JavaScript file. Now that I have my file as sodiq.js, I'm actually going to link it up inside my sodiq.html file by writing this script, opening and closing script tag, and this script tag you have an attribute which is source, which is equal to sodiq.js. So whenever I want to run a JavaScript code, I'm going to come to this sodiq.html and I'm going to run inside the browser. So it will enable my JavaScript code to run. And those of us that don't have any knowledge of HTML, don't worry, I'm still going to run those codes in the browser so that you can see. So now, today we are going to discuss JavaScript syntax. And so what's JavaScript syntax? First of all, I want you to know that this two backslash, it's used for commenting out codes in JavaScript. Now, if you are familiar with HTML, you will know that if you want to comment out any code in HTML, we comment out within these blocks of code. So you can see that this body and closing head tag will not actually run in our browser because it has been commented out. So anything between these codes will not be run in the browser. So the way by which you comment out HTML code that's the way we comment out HTML codes. But for JavaScript, you can either comment in two ways. It's either you comment by using these two backslash anywhere, but these two backslash should be used for commenting codes on a line. So as it is now, you can see that I've written two backslash code and two backslash here, but when on the next line my code will still run because these two backslash is just for commenting out code on just one line. So if I want to comment out code on multi lines, I'm going to use backslash for star as the first. Then when I reach the end of the comment, I will still use backslash first. I will still use star first, then backslash. So whatever is written between here will actually be commented out when we are running our code. So that is JavaScript comments. So that's how to comment JavaScript. It's either you comment out as a line or multi-line using backslash and star. Now in JavaScript, when you want to start programming, the first thing you want to do is to declare a variable. So how do you declare a variable? You write var, that's variable, x. So you are declaring a variable x here. So we declare a variable x. It means we want to start using x as variable. That's the meaning. So we want to start using x as variable. So you declare variable x and you put a semicolon. The semicolon in JavaScript means the end of that statement. So I've ended this statement by putting semicolon. So now after you declare a variable, you can now assign any value to that variable. So I assign the value 7 to x. So it means that whenever we see x in this our program, unless I change it afterwards, but whenever I see this x in this JavaScript program here in this JavaScript file, it means I'm referring to 7. So if I write console.log x now, it's actually going to print out 7 to the console because it does now recognize x as 7 because I have assigned the value of 7 to x. So the way to declare a variable is writing var x. There are other ways like writing let x, but that's one advanced topic. But we start using var now, variable x, and I want to assign the value of 7 to x. So now let's save this and let's go out into the browser and let's run this sodiq.html in our browser. So this is saved here, sodiq.html. So if I actually run this in my Chrome browser and I click here, inspect, that will bring us to our console. So you can see now that 7